TrackMania DS is perhaps the most forgotten about TrackMania game in the entire 19-game series. In this video, I will discuss the history of this often overlooked game and take a look at where the game stands today. The game was first released in November 2008 in Europe and March 2009 in North America. Famously, this was the first game in the series not to be solely developed by Nadeo, and was instead developed by Firebrain Games, a company which specialized in racing games for handheld consoles and mobile. The game features a total of 120 tracks across 3 different environments: Stadium, a Nations Forever-esque environment with a heavy car and wide turn radius; Desert, featuring a very light car with incredible grip; and Rally, featuring another heavy car and slick environment that forces the player to focus on speed conservation. 15 of the 120 tracks are titled Platform and are focused on completing a series of tracks in as few resets as possible. Another 15 tracks are titled Puzzle, where the player is given a predetermined start and finish block and must use a limited amount of track blocks to reach the finish as quickly as possible. The remaining 90 tracks, titled Race, are composed of 30 from each environment and are more traditional TrackMania maps, with the goal of achieving bronze, silver, gold, and Firebrand medals, which are this game's version of author medals. It is also worth noting that there are no ghosts for Firebrand medals, making them perhaps slightly more elusive than in other TrackMania games. In terms of the game's reception, it was generally very well received within the realm of DS racing games, and was often praised as one of the top options in this category. However, it received some harsh critiques from the more devoted TrackMania United and Nations Forever community, mainly for its buggy gameplay and lack of online capabilities. While the primary audience for this game was perhaps a younger and more casual audience than games such as Nations Forever, that did not stop a speedrunning community from forming, primarily devoted towards the individual race maps. Unlike Nations Forever and TM 2020, where replays can be easily uploaded thanks to in-game features, TrackMania DS has none of those capabilities, thus making the verification of world records far more difficult. So for many years, TrackMania DS records were posted to 2 pre-existing speedrunning sites, CyberScore and Video Game Records, both of which did not require proof of times, and even when proof was provided, it simply consisted of a photo of one's best time, as expecting people to record replays when cell phones looked like this would have been far too much to ask. The Video Game Records leaderboard is dominated by a player from 2009 called Neradov, who holds the vast majority of all records on the site, all of which are proven via photo. The CyberScore leaderboard is dominated by a player called Sky Imprisoned, who posted all proofs in September of 2021. While many of the records on these sites have yet to be beaten, they are no longer seen as the standard within the speedrunning community, as on January 24th, 2019, a speedrun.com page was created for TrackMania DS, which required video proof for all records, and thus a new era of TrackMania DS was born. Since 2019, 43 different players have uploaded a run to the leaderboard, and records have been refined greatly throughout the years. One important distinction is 2 separate categories within the site: console and emulator. While TrackMania DS can be emulated, there are very few emulated runs, and virtually all competition takes place in the console category, requiring the ownership of a DS and TrackMania DS cartridge. While there are categories for full game runs as well as puzzle levels, the vast majority of runs uploaded are on individual Stadium, Desert, and Rally tracks. The Stadium category is dominated by a player called TMShock, who as of the release of this video holds all 30 Stadium records. The Desert category is also dominated by a small handful of players, while the Rally category boasts a far more diverse list of names. All of this leads us to where TrackMania DS stands today. While the speedrun.com leaderboard does go through periods of inactivity, most of the time the leaderboard sees fairly regular uploads, features highly refined records in the Stadium and Desert categories, and even has a dedicated TAS user who frequently explores the possibility of new shortcuts and the use of the game's many strange physics. So while the future of this game is of course far more bleak than many other games in the TrackMania franchise, Its rich history and unique gameplay lends itself well to the possibility of a continued niche interest in the game, and continual pushing of the limits by an admittedly small but talented and dedicated player base. I have linked many of the channels and websites discussed in this video in the description. If you would like to see more videos on TrackMania DS, please give this video a like and let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.